Okay, so today's topic, we're going to be talking about the saga continues with Ben Simmons. Still, there's no resolution on Ben Simmons, basically demanding a trade. Rich Paul is also co-signing, demanding a trade. And the latest news concerning this is the 76ers organization is going to withhold most of Ben Simmons' salary. They're also going to fine him for every day or game that he misses. Now, Rich Paul got on social media and thought the fines are too much. They didn't know they was going to be this significant. They didn't even know they was going to withhold his salary for this year. Now, Ben Simmons signed a 4-year extension with the Philadelphia 76ers. It's not like he has 1 year remaining on his contract. Now, if you look at it from the perspective of leverage, a lot of people like to use that word leverage. As of right now, the 76ers hold all the leverage. They still have 4 more years of Ben Simmons. Now, a lot of people are, putting their 2 cents in and saying, well, Ben Simmons can do, what James Harden did last year to get himself up out of Houston. But a lot of people don't realize, Harden only had like 2 years remaining on that contract. Okay. And Ben Simmons has 4. So, that's an apples and orange comparison. But nevertheless, Ben Simmons is still requesting and demanding a trade. Now, I feel like this could have been avoided if Doc Rivers would have, been encouraging about Ben Simmons, particularly when the reporter asked him, do you think you can win a championship with Ben Simmons on the roster? And for him to just say, well, I don't know, and not to mention that Joel Embiid said some not so flattering comments about Ben Simmons. The Philadelphia 76ers fan base is not too pleased with Ben Simmons. And on top of that, the Philadelphia 76ers organization, like it or not, it really doesn't matter if they want to co-sign to this or not. There has been speculations of them trying to unload Ben Simmons for the right offer for the past couple of years. And Ben Simmons just had enough of it. He's saying, look, if y'all don't appreciate me, then trade me to an organization that would appreciate me. Now, Ben Simmons and his agent is saying, look, it's an open invitation for all NBA teams if they want to trade for Ben Simmons. He's not asking for, well, I'm only going to be traded for, I want to be traded to X, Y, and Z, even though I have made numerous videos telling you guys that, if you pay attention to the tea leaves, Ben Simmons wants to go to California. He's a California guy. His friends are in California. He likes the California lifestyle. He's just a California guy, and he would rather prefer to go to Sacramento or the Golden State Warriors. He would love to play for the Clippers and the Lakers, but they just don't have enough to establish a trade with the Philadelphia 76ers. They're going to have to add another team, a 3-team deal. But what team is going to allow the Clippers or the Lakers to benefit landing Ben Simmons? Okay. So this has gone way beyond repair, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people are also saying, well, and everyone wants to talk about, and they compare, different problems in different leagues, like the NFL. Remember when Aaron Rodgers was demanding a trade, he didn't feel appreciated with Packers the Packers organization, because the Packers organization didn't allow his input on who they should release and who they should sign, and he just didn't feel appreciated, and that led to the Packers reworking his contract to sign now he's under a 1-year deal. He's going to be a free agent at the end of this year, and I feel like that benefits both parties. It benefits Aaron Rodgers. It benefits the Packers organizations. They're not tied to Aaron Rodgers. Plus, they have already drafted his successor, and that will be 3 years of development. And I'm pretty sure they would love to just put him out on the field and see whether or not do they have a diamond in the rough or do they have a bust. And it's hard to do that when you already have Aaron Rodgers on the field. So like I said, this arrangement that the Packers and Aaron Rodgers have is mutual for both parties. All right. Even though I still feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to sign another contract with the Packers, and he's just going to retire a Packer, okay? Depending on the variables as far as what they have with the quarterback that they drafted a couple of years ago, depends on how he works out in training camp and preseason and things like that, yada, 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 okay? But a lot of people want to use that analogy. And once again, that's another apples and orange type of situation. It really doesn't compare, all right? So when you look at Ben Simmons, you're not going to get equal value for Ben Simmons. Not because Ben Simmons is not a talented player. It's just a simple fact. You're not going to trade a superstar for another superstar. A lot of people are suggesting maybe Portland should get in the mix and trade Dame Lillard to the Philadelphia 76ers, and in return they get Ben Simmons. If Portland is in the talks of trading, they're going to keep Damian Lillard and just give and get Ben Simmons for a number of draft picks and some players. All right. So the Portland Trailblazers is not going to entertain a trade proposal like that. Now, they're not going to get equal value. So the Philadelphia 76ers are going to have to look at this twofold. I'm going to tell you the first way they're going to probably think, and I'm going to tell you the way I believe ultimately they're going to choose in this path. One, they can realistically think that they can get a superstar for another superstar. Now, Minnesota Timberwolves are on that trade proposal. The Golden State Warriors, scratch the Golden State Warriors. The Portland Trailblazers, they're hoping that they can trade a superstar for a superstar with Dame Lillard, swapping Dame Lillard for Ben Simmons. That's probably the route they want to go, but ultimately, realistically, the Philadelphia 76ers are going to trade Ben Simmons for a multitude of draft picks and some young up-and-coming talent. And I've been saying this for the longest, and I'm going to say it again. I feel like the Golden State Warriors and the 76ers are working a deal where the Golden State Warriors are going to give up. It's probably going to give them 3 or 4 first-round draft picks, as well as the 2 picks that they already drafted these past couple of years, and they're going to package all those picks as well as those young talent that they are developing, and they're going to give it to the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, this trade is not going to immediately make the Philadelphia 76ers contenders for this year, and it's not going to really help them even next year. This is a 2-year process. The time you develop the players that the Golden State Warriors were trying to develop, and when these picks pan out, or you sell these picks down the road for a veteran talent or up-and-coming players, this is a 2-year type of situation. And I feel like the Golden State Warriors are going to be patient because realistically, they have, even with Ben Simmons, they had a huge hill to climb, with the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks. Those teams are getting better. The The Chicago Bulls, they got a big three, a smaller version of a big three, and they're on the rise. The Miami Heat, they're on the rise. Okay, so there are teams that are, and let's not forget the New York Knicks. They did some phenomenal things last year, and all they're going to do is reproduce that magic for this year. When you look at what's going on in the East, the 76ers, they're stuck in the middle. They're not good enough to beat the Brooklyns unless the Brooklyn Nets all of a sudden lose some players due to injury, like a Kyrie Irving, a James Harden, or a Kevin Durant. You have to pray and thank on your lucky stars that materialize. But the Milwaukee Bucks are going to still be there. Are you hoping that the Milwaukee Bucks, what they did last year was just a fluke? You want to push all your cards to the table on hoping for that to be a fluke. You're hoping that the Chicago Bulls, what they did in the offseason is not going to transpire them as far as getting into the playoffs. And maybe the Knicks, that was just a miracle on Broadway, and it's probably not going to be reproduced again. You're just hoping for and praying for these things to happen. But what if these things don't happen and everybody stays the way they are? If you look at what's transpiring with the with the Philadelphia 76ers, they don't have a lot of talent there that's going to dethrone none of those players or none of them teams that I just mentioned. Okay, so they're still stuck in they're still stuck in the middle. They're not good enough to beat those teams, all right? But they got enough talent to beat the other teams, all right? So to me, the Philadelphia 76ers are probably thinking to themselves, let's just wait a year, maybe possibly 2 years down the road when those other teams get older or when they start losing their key players, then we can come up on the rise. We already got Joel Embiid. We'll sign him to another max contract if it needs to be, and we'll just build around him, and maybe we'll luck up. And if we make a trade with the Golden State Warriors, I'm just using them hypothetically. If we make a trade with the Golden State Warriors, with the draft picks they're going to give us, with the 2 players that they done already drafted and they're already on their roster for that they drafted 2 years ago, and the 2 picks that they drafted this year, that's got a little rust on them, and they need some development and playing time. But eventually, these could be diamonds in the rough. If they trade away all that just for Ben Simmons, we can hopefully everything speeds up, and we probably have to take a 1-year setback. But realistically, we're probably going to have to take a 2-year step back. And then we could be one of those teams that's the king of the beast of the East. Okay. So from the Philadelphia 76ers standpoint, I feel like the best trade for them to make is the Golden State Warrior trade. And I've been telling you guys that's probably the only, in my opinion, the only trade that works. Now, there's the Minnesota, you got the Portland, you got the Nuggets, you possibly the Memphis Grizzlies, and the San Antonio Spurs. I forgot about them, but I feel like realistically, the Golden State Warriors have the best talent of those other teams, and they have a multitude of draft picks they wouldn't mind giving up for a Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons will fit perfectly with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and now you got Ben Simmons. So I feel like that will fit perfectly for them, and they will be contending for years to come with Ben Simmons, as long as those other guys can stay somewhat healthy. All right, now, I feel like that's the best trade in my opinion. So the saga continues with Ben Simmons. Still, there's no word on a possibility of him being traded to any team. But I feel like if he's going to get traded, it's going to be out west, or they're going to somehow, some way make this work. Now, there have been talks about the Philadelphia 76ers organization They're talking and communicating with Ben Simmons and his agent, and there is a slim possibility of him returning to the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay, so a whole lot of proposals out there on the table. No one knows what's going on. Guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy, the host with the most. I'm about to tell you guys my old lingo. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.